I feel like it's not. It's barely blipping now on the audio. It'll probably be fine. I'm probably just getting too.
I mean, do you have a gain on there? Can you turn up the gain? It's probably going to be on your mic.
Is this it? That's playback speed, mic, recording volume. Let's see.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, wait. Is this the gain? Playback volume. No, it'll be fine because I think the last time I tried to do it too much, I was like pegging it out and then it got shitty.
But I much rather have pegging than not enough. So if you can move the mic closer to you, see what you get.
Well, it's at the edge of the table already, and then.
So then you might have to move your laptop back.
Yeah. Okay. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that better?
You sound way more. You sound fuller for sure.
Okay. Well, let's actually, I could probably even. Oh, yes, I can. How's that sound?
Excellent. Like that's the fullest.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is what this is the waveform that I was hoping for.
Yeah.
When I recorded the podcast the other times, this is about. Yeah, with those waveforms were spiking way too low. I was like, I don't think so.
I'm kind of actually happy you mentioned podcast because without context, you're real full. Move it in. Yeah. See, without context, that would have been a very dirty conversation. Somebody would have walked in on us. Oh, yeah. Move it in, Guillermo. It's way fuller now. This is the fullest I've ever seen you. Keep it
coming. Wow. Usually I'm quick on the double meanings. That one went over my head. That's funny.
I'm in podcast mode, so that's our cold opening. So now I have a cold opening. And I can
Perfect.
Welcome to another episode of the Identity Booth, and you know what's up. I have a celebrity in the house, but he's not really celebrity anymore. He's basically family because he's been to the mom's birthday party. He took me on this long ass walk for my birthday. Calf muscle still hurting, but I'm always appreciative to have a good brother, family friend. High school joints. You can't go wrong with them. And y'all been seeing a lot of my past recently, but we have Guillermo back in the house, the host of Circuit of Life podcast. Welcome. It's nice to have you.
Hey, Heero, great to be here. How you doing?
Oh man, we living, we making it. Waiting patiently. This will be going out on your platform. Why don't you give everybody where they can find you real quick?
Oh, I'm everywhere now. Circuit of Life, wherever podcasts are found, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. Pretty much just type it into Google and it'll come up. But if it's on Spotify, you first page found? Oh yeah, Circuit of Life. Look it up. It's there. Trust me. You'll find it. Circuit of Life podcast. It'll pop up. You ain't gonna struggle to find it.
And I put all his information in the comment section below so you guys can find that in the description. But you guys have seen Guillermo. He's been on multiple podcasts with me and Eric now. I think you're a contender for the most appearance on the podcast.
No.
As a guest? As a guest?
Well, I mean, I guess, but you're getting into statistics and now my math brain is going and I'm like, well, this is only my second, well, technically third if you count, but the one was a twofer.
It was a two. I count podcast by episode.
Okay.
So if I pulled you in for two, hey, I got you in for two.
Yeah. So we're on three, which I mean doesn't set the bar that high.
I mean, well, there's only one person who's beating you right now.
Eric.
No, Eric. I mean, Eric was probably. I can consider Eric a general host.
Okay.
But if I had to go with like guests coming in, like I feel like if you make it to 10, you're a co-host. Status. Like I think that's fair. That way I don't have to like delineate like your name because at that point you already have a template. It's not like I'm typing your stuff in anymore. I can literally pull it down from another episode.
Right.
So I just preset it. But I think the person who has the most appearances without hitting 10 is probably going to be Jennifer.
Was that Was she the one?
It's the one you liked a lot that you.
Yeah,
said that
you were like serving her a bunch of drinks and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Jen. So she has one more podcast left. I think she's done 3 on the channel. I still have one in queue for her.
Is that the? I remember you had another guest and you were promoting some beauty care products of hers.
Yeah, same one.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh no! You're talking about Joy.
Oh, okay, different person.
Joy with the hair. Yeah, actually, I used her oil to get my hair like this. I'm gonna give you some behind the scenes stuff. Guillermo was here when I was prepping my hair like the supernova model I think I am. It took me a long time to get like this, but Guillermo was not amused, so I had to hurry up expeditiously to get the show going because he's supposed to be asleep.
Yeah, so I apologize if I seem kind of a little bit droopy-eyed. I am it's past my bedtime.
Well, then let's go ahead and turn up the heat and get into what we're talking about. For the first episode, we were ranting and raving, and I was we were sort of, as it wasn't me yelling at you, but I was definitely my voice was getting loud. So as I'm sitting in the backyard doing my shadow boxing and jump roping, my neighbors look at me like, wow, he's talking to himself about politics really intensely. That's why we never introduced ourselves, honey. Look at this. So I said to myself, I stopped us mid-conversation and said, we need to get this in podcast format. Like, there's no reason why we're not talking about this in real time. This is quality content. But I kind of want to start off with the topic of this is like the value of content. The value of context, and just how important it is for you to understand, and it's the purpose of the show. I didn't even do a smooth run. This is the identity booth. I don't know if you guys know.
What are we listening to?
This is the identity booth. We're looking for 300 followers, 300 identifiers. We're at 212. All that stuff's in the bottom. You guys know what's up. But the premise was sort of like me and you were talking about how you wanted to just, you to yourself, you wanted to kind of just put on this hat and sort of
to see what happens
go through your day, and but not even that, you just wanted to live out your day.
Yeah.
And then you had a reserved thought. So I'm gonna just ask you to just kind of give us the gist of what happened. Like because you sent me these pictures, and without context, without reading, I saw the picture first. I was like, "What is going on?" But then I read the comments and kind of became aware of what was going on. So tell us about this inner monologue you had with yourself.
Yeah. So I'll give you full context. I'm just cleaning up the house. Got a bunch of old clothes and just apparel that I don't wear anymore, and just trying to declutter. And it's actually honestly. Not now. I feel like I'm a liar here, but I'm wear baseball hats like probably 90% of the time. Actually, that's not a lie, because the other times that I was on your podcast, I wasn't a baseball hat.
Yeah.
But so I'm going through all the baseball hats. I have a lot, and there's a lot that I haven't worn in years. And as I'm picking and choosing, and I dug a whole bunch that so what I do for work, I sometimes get oily, greasy. Work outdoors, and so I got a whole bunch of hats set aside that they were a little bit older but still decent shape and whatever, and I deemed them work hats. And I'm going through them, and I find an old it was pristine, it was in a tote, but it was a bright red baseball hat with white lettering. It was from the clothing company Dickies. Free plug for you guys. Yeah, whatever. Anywho.
Hey, we're not sponsored.
No, I know. That's why I'm always just like, man, they ain't paying us. But anywho, I used to wear their pants and those jackets that look like the mechanic style jackets that always had like the name. And anywho, I like the clothing company, and but I looked at the hat and I instantly thought oh my god, I'm like. At a quick glance, even as I'm flipping through, I'm like, this looks like a MAGA hat. And then my gears started turning, and so sorry, I don't know if that MAGA. I kind of Spanishized it there.
Make
Make America Great Again.
Acronym deficient people.
Yeah, and so I was like, wait. Am I just gonna be like? Are people gonna just look at a red and white hat and instantly think, "Oh, that's a Trump hat"? And then I thought, yeah, possibly. And then so like I put the hat away, and then I kind of moved it out of the category, and I was like, do I even want to wear this hat anymore? I'm like, I don't want to deal with the back and forth. I'm like, to me, it's just a hat, but to a lot of other people, it's so much more. And I'm like, it doesn't say "Make America Great Again." It says Dickies. It says the apparel company, or they make work clothes and stuff. So I was like, I don't know, but I'm like, you know what? I was just like, it's a nice hat. I'm gonna wear the hat. And I wore it to work, and sure as shit, yeah, I got my coworkers, and they went, "Is that a Make America Great Again hat?" And then they come closer, and they're like, "Oh, all right." And that was pretty much the end of it. And we went on about our days. I went out and about, driving around, doing my job. I do get a lot of windshield time. Stopped at a gas station. I went ate at a restaurant with a coworker. Oh, so I was out in public, and no, I mean, there was absolutely really nothing of mention. The most reaction that I got was out of the coworkers, and they thought it was. They came and looked at it closer, seen that it wasn't, and then moved on with their day. But not then. Now to give you guys more context, here and I started, and I was curious, kind of like from a social experiment, like, is this gonna be a potentially charged thing? And I said, like, I hope that it's not, but if somebody does approach, maybe aggressively, I hope that they'll be open to at least have some dialogue or come closer and see that it's not. And then it's like, well, what did you think it was? And even if it's just a small check, because, I mean, you're pumping gas. How long do you got places to go. But does that kind of give enough context, Heero?
No, I think that gives context, but even as you were pushing forward and how our dialogue started, because I didn't really see that picture till after work. I had a busy day today, so I ended up calling you a little bit later to talk about it. And the thing that kind of just struck me was, and I think like the first thing that came to my mind was, like people, like people are. When their political affiliation is pressed on a conflict level, they cower out very quickly, and it points to a larger picture for me. But we also know that there are these extremists on both sides, more preferably on the right, and with people kind of taking the abuse that has been going on in the world, it's not far-fetched to believe that someone lost their loved one to a right-wing radicalist movement, and whether you're a supporter of Trump or not, this hat has become synonymous with people who embody a mucky part of America right now, and it's not speaking to their nature; it's speaking to the hat's nature. That hat has been idolized and iconicized in history, in these predicaments where the kid was sitting on in front of the Native American with the smug look on his face, to the people who are walking around without wearing masks right now, to the couple who harassed the young black family at the picnic at the 11-year-old's at a 5-year-old's birthday party, slurring with racial slurs and playing Sweet Home Alabama with the hat on. So the hat does, whether it's not necessarily the person, but the hat itself symbolizes something dangerous, and people can take that as a threat, as psychotic as that is, putting you in a situation where, if you did have to retaliate, if this person did come into you at a charged way, in my mind, I know you're a gun owner, but you're holding your gun so you never have to use it. But the sick sadistic thought I had in my mind is, God forbid somebody rushes you and you have to put this person down off of a whim of this was just a social experiment. And, there was that part of me that was like, don't rock the boat. You don't rock the boat. And you have friends, you have family, you have people you care about, and you have a lot of big things happening for you in the near future. So you don't want to jeopardize that with anything that could remove you from the picture. No, but
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I absolutely agree with you, and I had a conversation with my brother about the same subject matter, and it's interesting to me. I started really thinking about just symbols, clothing, be it a logo, what even, you helped me create the logo for a Circuit of Life, so that represents something. So we give power to symbols, and I have this red and white hat, and that's become the thing. That it's this politically charged symbol that stands for these things that you just said. But I did begin to think of I had an experience in high school where, by sheer happenstance, I accidentally dressed like full T in the colors of a prominent gang in the area where I went to school in. And it was one of my friends that called me out on it and says, "Hey man, why are you dressed like that? You're repping such and such gang's color." And I looked down at my clothes and I went, "Oh shit." And all I was trying to do was just color coordinate my outfit.
I say the gangs take all the good colors. It sucks.
Right? I mean, here I am, right? So do I gotta put this shirt away? Or?
No. As long as you don't get too much white or black in that shirt, you'll be fine. But and you're absolutely right. Not giving symbols power, but like you said, a conscious person. If you ran into me, I would ask you about your hat. If you ran into Pookie and them, they gonna tell you to get off their block, and then you have a confrontation at that point. So it's really about people and how they choose to express their affiliation, which then led us to another conversation about just the sheer reactions. So I don't know if you had something you wanted to something else you wanted to throw in there, but were you surprised by the reaction, and should I say the so much as the no reaction? Some people had pegged you based on their own preconceived notions, like, oh, we knew Guillermo was a Republican, so this is right up his alley. And then there was someone like, dang, I thought he was a Democrat. So then when people started confronting you, were their reactions what you thought it would be?
Well, I mean, truth be told, I really don't know if they peg me as Democrat or Republican. Whenever any issues that could be considered, political come up, I think I end up having opinions on both sides. So at face value, I don't think they could say like, oh, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, Guillermo's a Democrat, or without a shadow of a doubt, Guillermo's a Republican. You just said, I'm a firearm owner, and yes, I believe in that, and I believe in the right to carry and in the Second Amendment. But I'm also a first generation born here in the U.S. of Mexican immigrants, and I believe in comprehensive immigration reform. So just making those two statements, that the one is classically identified with the left and one is classically identified with the right, well then I always present that as my classic example. Well, you tell me, what am I now?
See, and this is an interesting experience because I know you well enough to identify little niches and quirks that you have. So for me, it was easy for me to peg you as a Republican, not because I believe, and this dives into a deeper conversation we'll be having on another episode, not because I find you to be fascist or racist, but because you're a conservative person. You live a very conservative life. So if you had things, and more so, not necessarily you would lean right of things, but you would vote down the middle or pick third party to your benefit. But that's just something I inherently would put on you based on what I know about you. It's easy for people to identify me. I say it out loud. I say it very easily. Like, I pick left. But moving into the what was expected, or did you gain what did you gain from like this experiment? Like you got this information, you have your key points, you have your interactions. Now you have these results, these data points. So what did you make of it? Did this affect you?
No, honestly, not a whole lot. I really when I put it on, and when I had the thought that people might, at a quick glance see it and think that it says "Make America Great Again" and that it's it's the Trump hat. I knew that it wasn't, and I just went. And the lettering absolutely is pretty small, so you have to get like fairly close. Like I probably couldn't read it without my glasses. But so it's one of those things where you might go and then you take a few steps and you're like, oh, the Dickie's hat, and then you quickly just move on with your life. So maybe I thought that it was going to be made more of a thing, or that, or maybe I have my, misconception that people are like chomping at the bit, to jump on people that are wearing the hat. I don't know, because I can kind of see it either way. Are people's eyesight just way better than mine and they can read it? Because I mean, here, I do wear glasses, so it's like, can they read it? And they go, oh no, it's not that hat.
There's actually like a super interesting interaction that happened at a restaurant that I was at, where I was in DC at the time, so it was a pretty liberal part of DC, and this couple comes in, and the male is wearing a "Make America Great" hat. This was back in 2018. And at first there was no like, he was getting looks, but this was also a part of town where, there was a big immigration center nearby where a lot of like donors come to help with immigration and lawyers, and you just know some bigwig in there said something, and the restaurant owner came out and asked that group to leave. And to my knowledge, at that time, I knew that chapter 9 discrimination laws don't protect political affiliation. You can be discriminated against based on your political affiliation. So there was a part of me that felt kind of mucky about that. Like, this guy wasn't doing anything, but just the like it'd be the equivalent to and this is an extreme equivalent, but this would be like somebody wearing "I'm pro-life" to an abortion clinic. Like it's like,
but doesn't that happen already?
I mean, it does, but in that same notion, those people are asked to be removed too. Like, you're not a patient here. You don't.
Oh, right.
So it's like they'll come and say like, and that's why they have armed guards now in front of these clinics, because it's like, are you being seen today? And it's like, no, I don't feel well. Okay, this is the ER for you to go to. You can't come to this clinic. Well, it's a public clinic, sir. Are you gonna do this here? So it's one of those situations. So I'm overall, I'm happy. Nothing happy. I'm happy you didn't run into some 6'10" I love my country type person, and I'm not gonna let you get away with this. But me personally, probably hold off on wearing the hat again. I think it's better safe than sorry. But that's just my opinion, unless there's something you want to throw on that fire.
Now, do we? So by that token, do we have to rule out like the Los Angeles Angels and St. Louis Cardinals? Like, are we, all red and white hats are just off now?
I feel like hats, because once again, signals are easily identifiable. The fact that people had to get within 6 feet of you to identify what that was could be a problem.
No, for sure.
But if you show me the Angels logo, even if it's blurred out and pixelated, I can put it together like, oh, that's the Angels logo. But if you blurred out that Dickie hat, I wouldn't be wrong for saying it's a MAGA hat. So
and I'm definitely biased just because I'm like a baseball hat aficionado. So I'm sitting there looking at like the cut of the hat, the way I'm just like, no, I was like, because they're shaped way different. I was like, I like the more rounded one, but now I'm getting into just like semantics of just the cut of the baseball hat. So I don't think,
definitely. So I guess like on the final note for this, me personally, I don't like wearing and this is me personally, because I do wear shirts that are kind of politically charged. Arba got me a super nice shirt that I can't wait to wear when I am allowed to go outside. That sort of just says, it's on the back of it says, there is no need to have a debate about if white supremacy is wrong or not. It's wrong and we need to end it, period. And it's a politically charged shirt, and a racist could find that offensive, and they're allowed to. This is what the country has come to. But like, from your perspective, is wearing political messages for you something you're okay with?
I mean, it's something that I'm okay with, but the part that I'm struggling with, honestly, is I saw the hat and I thought this could be mistaken for a Make America Great Again hat, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I feel more strongly of, but it's not. It's a Dickies hat, and I like the hat, and I should be able to wear the hat unmolested.
Fair enough. So we're both in agreement there. If someone's wearing a swastika and white power shirt, I'm just not gonna mess with that person. I'm just not gonna give that person my energy.
Right.
If this, I'd like to say, as long as this person is minding his own business, cool. But the moment his business starts to infringe on my business, then we got beat.
No, for sure. But just like, I'm defending my hat because it's a Dickies hat, and that's
no, for sure.
But you know what I mean? This looked like this, it's like, well, if you don't have full context, things can look one way, and then upon further inspection, you go, oh, I guess I jumped to conclusions.
And for what it's worth, we never want to do that here on the Identity Booth. That's why we constantly try to identify with each other, as we constantly try to identify with the world. And we now have context about what to do when people are wearing politically charged statements on their person. And that is to mind your goddamn business. It's a very simple.
I want to, yeah, for sure. I feel there's so many things that have become politicized where there's no pockets of society, or very little, where everything somehow gets tied into politics and with some partisan affiliation. And I'm like, so for me, like, I'm big into motorsports. But let's say, could that have any potential, like, oh, well, you like to race cars, so then you must, insert blank.
Yeah, but that's where I kind of like have to like kind of eyeball somebody.
Yeah.
Because let's say, like, if someone says, for example, Bubba Wallace, who was considered to be a super controversial in the NASCAR world because of his situation.
So I'm honestly super ignorant on that. I know that there was something that happened with Bubba Wallace. I didn't even know that he was a race car driver. Admittedly, I don't follow NASCAR that closely. When I say I'm into motorsports, I like to participate in them, not watch them.
So I'm of the opposite leg. I enjoy watching NASCAR. I really enjoy watching NASCAR when it's in season. But I was boycotting it because they hadn't removed the Confederate flags from all their stadiums. So now that they've done that, after the Bubba Wallace incident, it was basically somebody jerry-rigged a door to open and close, or to open with a noose. And it wasn't anyone from Bubba Wallace's team. It was actually facility people who found it. But it was in Bubba Wallace's stall that was assigned to him. This was completely random, so he wouldn't have known that it was there. It was just jerry-rigged for it. And the team before, the last time a race took place there, the noose was still there, and no one from the team noticed it. Once again, it did. But then it became the question of, if the team before didn't notice it, why did they notice it now? So it became like this thing like, oh, Bubba Wallace planted this to get notoriety. And then the FBI did an investigation and they came back and confirmed that, oh, no, a noose was there. It wasn't planted. And it was mostly brought there prior to anyone's knowledge of it ever being there. But like the backlash he got from it, because a lot of the racers stood with him. It was sort of like.
Wait, so there was never any explanation as to how it actually got there?
So the footage scrubbed went back to 2016. And at that point, they couldn't dictate if it happened in 2016. Nobody did that with the intention of knowing that in the 4 years from now, Bubba Wallace would be a prominent driver. So basically, it's a noose, but it wasn't put there for racial purposes. It was just the way that someone decided to tie a knot.
Ah, okay. I could definitely see that. Even yeah, I definitely. So for the type of work I do, I wrap like lots of different test leads, long wires and cables and stuff, and yeah, you could wrap an extension cord, and some could say that it could be construed in the shape of a noose. And yeah, okay, I'm with you.
So like it was a moment of notoriety, and a lot of drivers stood up, and right immediately after they decided to come out and say, we're gonna take down all the Confederate flags. But sure enough, a bunch of people who were wearing MAGA hats were outside protesting with the Confederate flag, saying that this is our history. And it was like, I don't know if that's something you want to say out loud.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, but that's, so you come in, this is our history, but what is it that you come in, so you're defending the noose? Like,
yeah, like exactly, like you picked such a bad time to say that. Yeah, it's just mindless self-indulgence. And once you start talking to these people, it just becomes like, no. If me and this person were running next to a bear, normally I would try and make sure we both survive. But I would guarantee my survival by kicking you in the kneecap. Because, like, I just don't think people like that are doing anything to help the progression of humanity. Mm-hmm. To be so stuck in your ways is sort of like condescending. But I feel like we're going to deep dive into that in the next video. So for this video, it's a tight 34 minutes because I roll like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we get it. We get it in. But if they want to know where this is going to be posted, in case, they want to hear your side of the story without my rude interjections, where can they find you, man?
Well, it's gonna be a crappy conversation without two people. So, I mean.
Hey, you're allowed to edit my voice with whoever the fuck you want to.
Well, you can find it at the Circuit of Life podcast. It's on Spotify, on Anchor, Google Play, Google Music. Google keeps changing what they're calling it, but one of the
it's just
the Googs.
The Googs. But I'll put all those links down in the comment section below. But for the rest of you guys, we're on this super duper mission trying to get to 300 subscribers. There's a part of my life right now that I'm soul searching, and there's a part of me that says I want to do this full time, but I can't do that until I get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this, and I got a great stat, 57% of you guys are subscribed to the channel watching this, so that's great. It used to be like only 23% of y'all. So keep liking, keep sharing, keep identifying with me as I identify with you guys. You can, Eric does this, so he's much better at it. But you guys can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, definitely not Player FM, Google Play. That's a slight jab at Gilbert. But we're on Periscope on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We also are on Facebook Live. We'll be streaming live at least once a week. That is my commitment to you guys, so that you guys can constantly get something going. And also look out for next Tuesday or the following Tuesday. We'll be posting our money podcast with me and my younger brother. So look out for that. You know how it goes, guys. We're always going to constantly try to identify with you guys to identify with us. We're trying to bring you that good content. Show your support. It's absolutely free. And you want to be able to say that you helped someone from the bottom up. So, get on a roll. Help us out. And put on your mask. Take care of yourselves. And, Heero, I'll see you in the next episode.
We'll see you soon.
All right. Excellent.